just doing a wee catch-up video of what we did throughout the week in the classes during the week. It'll be much shorter, a wee bit more condensed version of what we did. Instead of the hour-long class, it's going to be somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, so hopefully it's a wee bit more appealing to do it at home when it's quite short. But you need a wee ball for this one, easily enough got on Amazon for a couple of pounds. You can do a lot of the exercise without the ball. If you haven't got one, that's fine. But we'll make a wee start here anyway. So we're starting off nice and tall, neutral pelvis, shoulders back, and tall through the top of your head. We'll come back to this position in a second, but for now, just tuck the chin to the chest. Start to roll down one vertebra at a time. Maintain a wee softness in the knees and walk the ball down your legs. Now don't force it to reach the floor. You might come all the way to the floor and you might not, but don't force it. At the bottom, we want to keep this tension out of the neck rather than hanging on to that position. And then draw up and in through the belly button. We'll roll back up to the top. So come up and down. So throughout the wee session here, if there's any wee movements that feel really good for you, for your back or for your hips, and you want to do it a wee bit longer, feel free to carry on a wee bit longer and then join back in with me when you're ready. So if you're enjoying that movement for your back, you can carry on. If you're happy enough, then we'll stay at the top, tailbone tucked in again, shoulders down and back, and float up into a wee heel raise. But these are all done live with no editing, so if I fall over, it's all part of it, alright? So we'll bend your knees, lower down into a wee squat, keep the weight through the base of the big toe and the base of your wee toe, and then squeeze from the thighs and backside, press all the way to the top. We're going to try to stay in the heel raise here, holding this to lift our height through the spine, rather than trying to fight your balance. And then from here, without changing that posture, float your arms up only as far as your shoulder mobility will allow you, and then lower back down in front. And as we lower down, we'll bend your knees to come down into the squat again. We'll put that together now. So from here, a wee bit more challenging, but same range of motion at the shoulders, hopefully. You'll have to work a wee bit harder to find that control. And then press through the thighs and backside. Come up, lower the arms, lower the ball out in front, and start to relax back down now. We don't change our posture, we don't round over the shoulders or round over your back. We're able to keep that same nice alignment that we started with. Float the arms up, press through to the top. Again, as I said there a minute ago, if you're enjoying any exercises, if you're really enjoying this wee bit of work on the legs, you can stay with it a touch longer. As I say, I'm going to move through this quite quick, quite sharp this morning. So relax your heels to the floor, bring the ball back down in front. We'll move through another wee roll down like we did at the start. And roll back up. So same tall setup, same tall posture, bring the ball onto one hand, the fingertips. You're going to take your other hand up overhead, palm of your hand facing up, and a long reach across the top, and you roll your ball down the thigh at the same time, and then engage or pull from here to squeeze and pull through the waist to come back up. So try to keep the weight quite heavy or quite equal through both feet. We're not lifting up and lifting your foot off the floor. Keep the weight grounded through both feet as we roll down and roll back up. We'll pause here in the middle with the ball behind your back. Reach down, actively stretch down to the point where you can feel your shoulders depress and not crunch forward. So shoulders come down and back. We'll hold the body in this midline position. Try not to bend side to side. We're just going to tilt your head side to side. So gently stretch along your neck and then across to the other side. And just take your hand moving side to side, nice and relaxed with your breathing throughout, constantly feeling the shoulders pulled down and back. If one side's a bit tighter than the other, you'll stay with it longer. And we're back up tall again with the ball coming across to your other hand. Lift your arm up and over the top, palm facing up, reach that extra wee bit with almost reaching with your wee finger, and then engage from the waist and pull up through the centre. Lift up, breathe out in that long reach, breath and come back up. And relax slowly. We'll take the ball out in front, so it's very similar to what we did with that wee bit of shoulder mobility already. We're going to do it in a more challenging position with the scooter. As I said at the start now, if I fall over, it's all very live here, there's no cutting like you'll see in most of the Instagram videos, but shoulders back here, neutral pelvis, bend your knees and push your bum out. From there, just lift your left heel off the floor. Feel that right side really strong and centered on the ground. So you're spreading the weight through the heel, the base of the big toe and the base of the wee toe. So once this right foot feels stable, we're going to reach your left leg back. As you press back, we're looking for that nice connection into the left glute. Bend your knee back in, hold there, and holding this nice tall posture will press or float your two arms up overhead and back into the chest. Now you can continue to alternate those two movements. There's enough of a challenge in that. Or if you're comfortable enough, we'll put those two things together. Keeping that same brace through the tummy, press the arms and leg away at the same time and back in together and repeat. Now if you find that quite manageable or quite comfortable, we're going to stay pressed out, making sure we're stable through the right foot, tilt over further, and continue the movement from there, in and back out. When you're on these single leg exercises, make sure you're not rushing into the next movement if your standing foot doesn't feel stable. So if you feel that foot wobbling, don't be trying to race to get out to the next position. Get your standing leg, your standing foot stabilised. We'll come back up nice and tall again. We'll break that up in a small roll down. Tuck your chin to the chest, roll down, relax and let go at the bottom again. A couple of nice deep wide breaths. Feel the rib cage open out wide into your back. And then we'll roll all the way back up to the top. The same exercise on the other side. Next to the ball here at the middle of the chest. Neutral pelvis. Bend your knees, push your bum out. We'll build into that again with control. Lift your right heel off the floor. Feel your left side start to take over really strongly. That left foot should feel rock solid on the ground, rock solid, stable. Right leg presses out. Again, looking for that connection into your backside, into the glute. Bend your knees back in. And then we'll try floating the arms, floating the ball up overhead. Now if your shoulder mobility is quite restricted, you'll not come all the way up overhead. It might be a small bit in front. But it's working to the end of your range of motion. And then if you're happy, we'll put the two of those together. Press out and back in. Again, if you'd like to challenge that further, press out and stay there. Find that stability through the standing foot. Tilt over with the seesaw. Try not to fall, especially when you're in video. Shocking. And the next thing you're ready to work up nice and tall. Take your hand back up tall again. Could have been worse that, believe it or not. So feet a bit hip width apart, tuck the chin to the chest, last wee roll down. Again, like we did at the very start, take the tension out of the back of your neck and shoulders. Nice deep breaths wide into your back. If you're very comfortable here, you can use the ball, just add a wee bit more movement, a wee bit more mobility through your back as we walk the ball around to one side and then across to the other side. But if you're adding in that wee progression, make sure we're not swinging your backside in the opposite direction like that. Keep your hips in the middle and we can keep that movement through your back. Lovely. We'll come from there down onto your hands and knees. Setting up with a nice long back. So we'll square up on the floor. So nice long back. Hands below the shoulders, knees hip width apart. We'll just continue that kind of flow through the spine like we just did with the roll down. So tuck in here at the tailbone, feel the movement, build up through the vertebrae, through the mid back, through the shoulder blades, eventually tucking the chin gently towards the chest. And then from here, relax down through the belly button, bottom rib, and tuck in and roll back up again. Nothing forced. You may feel some wee tight spots through the mid or lower back. If that's the case, just take your time through those wee stiff or tight areas. But if you're feeling pain, you'll make it a much smaller movement. And then when you're ready, we're going to pause at the kind of halfway point between those two extremes. So with a nice long spine from the tailbone out through to the crown of your head. We'll take the ball here directly below the breastbone, and we'll just use that for the thread the needle exercise. So you're going to take the back, just stay the way you're facing, but the back of your right hand on top of the ball, and roll all the way through out to the left. Nice long breath out as you reach out, and a breath in to roll up into the middle. Bring your hand back to the floor, and then put the back of your left hand on top of the ball. So roll out, breathe out, breathe in, and come back in, change sides. So working with a nice relaxed, full breath there in that one. Don't be trying to move as fast as you can, doing as many reps as you can and trying to breathe to keep up with that. Do it the other way around, where you're moving at the pace of your breath, a nice long out breath on one side. Okay, so we'll leave that for now. Stay in this same position on all fours. We'll take your left leg out, we'll go with your right leg. I'm not sure what way this mirrors in the video, but we'll go with your right leg out to the side, the sole of your foot down flat. And without dropping your bum down any lower, we're going to slide back quite high. So we're pushing the hips straight back. So it'll look like this here. And a wee breath out, just push straight back and stay there. We're looking for a nice stretch along the inner thigh in your right leg. There's a temptation to start sitting down lower, but that changes the stretch. We're looking to open up the inner thigh or the groin. And hold, just breathe into that. And relax. We're going to rock forward a small bit. And just a small bit of hip mobility, quite a simple wee movement here, but we're going to rotate the thigh until your ankle opens up and turns up towards the roof, and rotate all the way around again. So try and take that movement through the right thigh, if you can imagine it rotating right round out into the hip joint as much as you feel you can. So for most of us that'll feel quite free, but if you feel a bit sticky or tight around the hip, just ease through those wee tight spots, take your time with it. And relax. Okay, we'll stay there on hands and knees. You're going to bring your left leg out to the side. So it'll be the left leg out to the side. Breath in to get ready, and your breath out, push the hips and backside straight back again. Breathe, just hold that tension in the inner thigh. Do rock forward, relax that stretch a small bit, and then we'll try and rotate up externally into the hip. So you're turning your left leg round and out into the hip joint as best you can. Lovely. Okay, so we'll stay where we are on the mat. Point your toes away, just sit your backside back towards the heels, trying to round the tailbone down close to the heels, and relax the upper body, and just allow the chest to settle down towards your thighs for a couple of wee breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll back up to the hands and knees. If you've hip trouble or lower back trouble, you might give this wee one a miss, but we'll give it a go if you're happy enough. We're going to take the ball in onto your right knee. So we don't want it out too far towards the front of the knee where it could scoot out. It's sort of under the knee at the top of your shin. Curl the toes in firmly in the right foot. So that right foot needs to be strong and anchored in the floor. Once we have this right leg quite strong, even though the knee's wobbly in the ball, the foot should feel strong. Line your two hands up directly below the shoulders. At that point there, you'll feel the pelvis tilted off to one side. So we're going to take a wee breath in and lift your left knee an inch off the ground. So we're in that same kind of box plank before, with a nice long back, the belly button pulled up and in tight. Right foot still firmly on the floor. If you're happy to progress this a wee bit, we're going to press your left leg back, find a straight leg, and continue to raise a small bit higher until you feel a deep squeeze at the left glute. So we're conscious that we're still pulled up and in at the belly button, and that lift in the left leg comes from the back side, not your lower back like this. Okay, so keep the tummy up and in tight. If you're still comfortable here, take your right arm and reach forward and hold. So a long, strong reach from your heel to the fingertips, belly button engaged in the middle, and relax with your breathing. Back to the hands and knees, pop the ball in between your two knees. Tailbone still tucked in, engaged around the middle. breath in to get ready, and on your breath out, lift your knees an inch off the mat. We'll just hold here for a breath in, and on your next exhale, hitch the hips up high, push back with your hips, press down with your heels, and press your chest back towards the feet at the same time. So we breath in to hold here, and on your breath out, we'll come back to the box plank position, just hover the knees an inch off the ground. Breath in to hold, and a breath out to move. So take a wee bit longer in each of those positions if you like, but if you're happy enough, then just continue to move with your breath. So breath in to hold, breath out to move. In and out. And the next time you're ready, we'll come all the way down to the hands and knees. Bring the ball out in front of your fingertips, point the toes away, and we'll sit back towards your heels again. Round out into the lower back and breathe. If you feel the wrists are a wee bit strained or sore from holding or supporting your weight on your arms, roll out the wrists there for a break. Okay, so we'll come back up to the hands and knees. This time with the ball in under your left knee. That means with the left foot curled in strong on the floor, so the toes are turned in. Once we feel strong through that left side, tuck the t-shirt in for this thing here. You have to pay to come to the classes to see that. We'll line the two hands up to the shoulders, below the shoulders, zip up through the tummy and lift your right knee an inch off the ground. Okay? We're holding there, we're going to press the right leg out strong and squeeze up through the backside. And just hold there. That might be challenging enough, but if you feel that connection into the tummy and feel the right glute engaged, you can try floating the left arm out as well. And relax back to the hands and knees again. Take the ball back out in front of the fingertips, sit back towards the heels one last time, roll out the wrist. And relax. Okay, we're going to come round under your backside now at the front half of your mat. Again, did this during the week there, as I said, but anybody that was here at this point, I'm saying if there's any exercise that we're doing, you'll be familiar enough with all of these, but if I do a version that feels a wee bit beyond you, feel free to pull it back a bit. If it feels too easy, feel free to make it more challenging. So for instance, the 100, if I'm working here and you find that too difficult, try one foot back to the floor. If it feels too easy, try one leg extended or both legs extended. Tweak these exercises as we go along to suit you. I'm just going to try and go through them with a nice wee bit of flow without too much stopping and starting. But if you lose track in the video, just take a wee break and then join in again when you're ready. We'll roll back first, one vertebra at a time down into the mat. Settle the shoulder blades quite heavy and relax into the ground, and then rock your pelvis back and forward to find that neutral position. So rock forward, your back arches up, rock back, you feel the back press down, and settle into the halfway point. Okay, so we'll hold that neutral position for most of this wee sequence there. Float the left leg up towards tabletop. Nicely brace it, come out and bring your right leg up as well. Squeeze the feet and knees together if you're comfortable enough. We'll float your two arms up, and then from here tuck the chin lightly towards the chest, roll up through the upper back, and we'll breathe in as we pump the arms. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 10. Nice long reach forward. A downward pull through the belly button. Loads of different wee progressions and variations in this one. Feel free to play around with it if you like, but the key thing is to hold it neutral pelvis, that we don't overdo it and lose that control at the middle. To control then, we'll relax the shoulders and head back to the floor, one foot at a time to the mat, Slide your legs out straight. Hopefully it's still in the camera there, but going quite actively. Curl your toes back towards you. And then peel the head, the neck, the shoulders. Roll up off the mat without any jump or without any swing. Nice and proud at the top, shoulders back, chest open. Point your toes away, and then take a kind of a half roll back, or we tilt back at the pelvis to roll down into the mat again. So controlled all the way down as well. Curl your toes back towards you to roll up. Try to do it without any jump or momentum. Point the toes away to roll back. The same level of control to the point where you can almost stop on any stage on the way down. And the next time we come down, I'll just slide forward a wee bit, make sure I'm not going off the camera. Next time we come down, we'll do the easier version here first. It's the shoulder bridge, heavy and relaxed through the shoulders and upper back. Spread the weight equally through the heel, the base of the big toe and wee toe, and then lift your tailbone, roll up as far as the shoulder blades, the wee space between your shoulder blades. No pressure going back to the neck or head, and then roll back down. So use that for a small bit of work in the hamstring, but mostly for the mobility or flow through your spine for now. And if you're very comfortable with that exercise, we'll try the roll over as the hands by your sides. 2 legs from tabletop, squeeze the feet and knees together, and then brace from the tummy. Don't kick back, brace from the tummy to start to roll back. Ideally we'll go with straight legs, similar to the bridge. We're only going as far as the shoulder blades, not any further where the pressure builds in your neck. And then roll the spine back down again, 1 vertebra at a time, back to this tabletop position. So work this at your own version. If you're happy enough going with straight legs and there's no pressure in your neck, we want to gradually build to the point where you're able to fold that bit further and maybe touch your toes to the mat. If that's bringing pressure to your neck, you're just not there yet. If you're comfortable on the way forward, you don't have to stop at tabletop. You might go on that touch further out, about 45 degrees angle, if you're holding that neutral spine. So just work a couple more times, either with the shoulder bridge or the rollover. Pause here at the top with 1 leg at a time. We're setting up with the legs in tabletop again. Neutral position with the pelvis. 1 leg in it and the single leg stretch. And then switch to hug the other leg in. You work this at your own pace. Not holding your breath, we're breathing through it nice and relaxed. But conscious there as we hug the leg in here with the single leg stretch, or when we come to the double leg stretch in a while, that you're not forcing your lower back up and down out of position. There's that slight engagement or slight brace at the tummy to hold still. And when you're ready, we'll finish with both legs in tabletop. 1 foot at a time back to the mat. Slide your legs out in front. Toes curl back in towards you again as we work your way up to the seated position. Same as before, there's no jump or no momentum. Once we come up to the top this time, we'll gather the legs up. If you don't like the rolling exercises, you'll stick with the half roll back. Try and build that wee bit of mobility through the base of your spine. But if you're happy enough, we're going to try the rolling like a ball here. It's the hands in front of your knees. Come back a wee bit further so that you're in your tiptoes. And it's the same position to start with. Tilting back through the pelvis, tuck the chin to the chest, and just rolling again to that spot between the shoulder blades. No need to bring any pressure back to the head or neck. So roll back and roll up. If you balance okay at the top, try to do it without touching your feet to the floor. If you're able to balance there without touching the floor, you can find that proud posture for a fraction of a second and then start to string all that together. So we'll roll up nice and proud and roll back. It becomes again a continuous motion. It should be smooth in both directions. If you're very comfortable there with that, and carry on the last couple of repetitions without holding the legs. Still proud at the top, and dip back into the wee ball shape. And next time you come through to the top, we'll pause there. Tilt back through the pelvis, rolling all the way into the mat. Take your time. Find that relaxed, heavy feeling through the shoulders and upper back. Rock back and forward to find a neutral position of the pelvis. And it's one leg at a time towards tabletop, like a wee brace to the tummy. From here we'll float your two arms up, keep the shoulder blades heavy and sunken into the ground, so it's just floating the arms up. We'll work with the dead bug, so neutral pelvis is key here as we reach the opposite arm and leg away. Pull or brace from the tummy to come back up and change sides. And change sides. So just continue to change sides at your own pace. If you're struggling to maintain that neutral spine, you'll not reach the leg as far. Just control that movement a wee bit shorter maybe. We're going to come back into the single leg stretch. So same idea, we're holding that neutral pelvis. And then we're going to, next time you're ready, move that into the double leg stretch. Hug both knees in, release the legs, circle your arms around overhead. Nice and loose and floaty through the shoulders before hugging your knees back in again. If you find that exercise very manageable, you can allow the legs to drift further forward each time. But the key thing is, whether you're hugging the legs in or letting the legs forward, that we hold a neutral position. We're not arching up and down constantly at the lower back. You're staying constant in that neutral spine. And when you're ready from here, we'll take the two hands in behind your thighs. Tuck your chin to the chest, start to roll up and press your legs forward, help yourself up into the seat. And from here, tuck the chin to the chest, melt forward into the wee forward bend. We're just going to spend a few seconds here, breathe and relax. Without bouncing or pulling or forcing, use each exhale maybe to find a slightly further movement. Please don't force it, we're not trying to crank and hurt the back or the neck. Just allow yourself to kind of melt down into that position. Okay, we gather the legs back up. The rolling like a ball, that was an ideal rolling movement for you earlier and that felt very manageable. Don't feel you need to progress it, but if you're happy enough, we're going to try the open leg rocker, which is very much the same movement, that same roll from the tailbone to the shoulder blades, but it's a more challenging way to do it. So with the hands in behind your thighs, feet a bit shoulder width apart, tilt back through the pelvis again, make sure we're not tensing up the shoulders and neck, so we're nice and relaxed in the upper body. We'll lift one foot off the floor, brace kind of tight to hold this gentle curve at the lower back, and lift your other foot. So you can work from here if you haven't done this one before, roll as far as the shoulder blades and try to balance at the top. A nice brace at the tummy to keep ourselves in that C shape. If you find that very comfortable, straighten up one leg, hold your ankle, straighten up the other leg, and we'll try the same movement from here. So tilt back at the pelvis, tuck the chin to the chest, roll to the shoulder blades and try to balance there at the top. So if we sort of prioritise a nice smooth rolling motion first, and then look for the balance at the top, and if you're able to do both those things, try to lengthen the spine at the top for that wee half second before dipping back into the curve. So we'll roll up, missed that one, roll up nice and proud, and then roll back in. Making sure again that they're rolling like a ball, that we're not taking any pressure back towards the head or neck. And next time you come through to the top, we're going to lengthen the legs out into the straddle position, lift up out of the floor for the saw exercise, so tall rotation, and then reach towards your opposite foot, almost towards the wee toe. Lift up tall to rotate, and reach across to the other side. Nice and tall each time we rotate, don't just try and skip from one leg to the other. Lift up and lengthen the crown of your head up towards the roof. And relax there, alright? So gather the legs up, last few minutes now, we're going to come back to the ball. Bring the ball in between your heels and ankles. Tilt back through the pelvis, one vertebra at a time, and relax. Okay, so just a wee sequence of bridging exercise that you should feel through the hamstrings and backside. Not in your lower backs. If you feel the hamstrings are about to cramp up, be careful with how far you progress these. So we'll go with equal weight through both feet to start with, through the heel, the base of the big toe and the base of the wee toe. Relax and heavy in the upper back, lift your tailbone, roll the spine up as far as the shoulder blades, and we'll stay there. Okay, so at the top of that bridge, it's not as high as you can go, remember. It's just in a neutral position where the tummy's quite tight and the backside's tight. You're not forcing on up beyond that where the pressure builds in the lower back. The tummy tight, backside tight, and both feet grounded pretty firmly. If you're comfortable enough here, subtle wee progressions, lift your forearms off the floor so you have a wee bit less balance. If you're still comfortable, lift your upper arms off the floor. But it doesn't change this position. Okay, it mightn't feel like much progression there at all, but there's no help there from your arms. Much of the weight, much more weight supported through the glutes and hamstrings. Not very noticeable from here, but it will be in the next one. We'll roll the spine back down again. Find that neutral position for a second, relax the middle, relax and heavy in upper back. Bring your 2 feet on top of the ball, so it'll be a very narrow stance obviously, with the ball in under your mid foot, okay? Not up at your toes, or not at your heel, just there in the mid foot. Equal weight on both sides, lift from the tailbone again, peel up as far as the shoulder blades to the top of that bridge. So again, it's not as high as you can, it's just tight at the tummy, tight at the back side. If you're comfortable here, lift your forearms for less support or less balance, and then lift your upper arms if you're still comfortable enough. You just feel that extra bit of work through the hamstrings and back side. No pressure. Wide. Keep the shoulders on the floor. We'll turn the 2 knees over to your left, followed by the pelvis and lower back. But keep your upper back grounded. Just nice wee rotation of the lower back. A wee bit of a brace through the tummy to pull the pelvis back into the middle, followed by your knees and lower back again, all the way across to the other side. And just take your time, moving smoothly from side to side. If one side is noticeably stiffer or tighter, you'll give it more attention. And then we'll pause in the middle, okay? So hands back to your sides, ball in under your right foot only this time, again through the mid foot, and with equal weight through, feet and knees hip width apart. So equal weight through both feet to start with, lift the tailbone, roll up as far as the shoulder blades, trying to peel up off the mat. That's sort of segmentation through the spine that we're looking for. Tummy tight, back side tight, and without losing this position, so without twisting or dropping or arching higher up, without losing this bridge position at all, try to build more pressure on the right foot. So you go 60% of the weight in the right and 40 in the left, 70, 30. Keep building it. If you feel like you're about to cramp, don't add any more weight. But if you're comfortable enough, you'll keep building it until you bring the left leg up to tabletop. And we'll hold there. Make sure that's all through the glute and the hamstring, slightly brace the tummy, no pressure twisting into the lower back. You can do that much longer if you like. If you're happy enough, so we'll bring the left foot back to the floor, roll the spine back into the mat, and then move the ball across to the left foot. Okay, so feet and knees hip width apart. Lift the tailbone, roll up as far as the shoulder blades. Tummy tight, backside tight. And without losing or straying from this bridge position, we'll start to bring more weight to the left foot. Stronger and heavier. Stronger, heavier in the left foot. Keep building it until you maybe bring the right leg to tabletop. Bring the right foot back to the floor, roll the spine back into the mat, ball back in between your heels and ankles, arms out wide again. We'll just take a wee bit more fluency going side to side, not rush. You're still in control of the movement, we don't want to rush it to the point where it's a bit jerky. Keep it nice and smooth. Again, you can stall a bit longer on one side if you feel it tighter. Okay, last wee bit of bridging work, hands back down to your sides. We're going to take the ball out much further this time. Okay, so if we go all the way out to straight legs, at that point there your heels or your ankles or calves are probably on top of the ball. We're going to bend your knees just a small bit, so not as far in as we had there a minute ago. Just bend the knees that small bit. Okay, the legs aren't too far away from being straight. We're kind of looking for around a 30-degree angle there, if that clicks with anybody. Once we're in that position at the knee, at that sort of 30-degree angle at the knee, adjust your feet so the ball's back in under the mid foot on each side. This is a wee bit more loaded building into the hamstrings in this bridge. Okay, so it's downward pressure through the soles of both feet. Lift from the tailbone, peel the spine up off the mat as far as the shoulder blades, tummy tight, backside tight, You should feel the hamstrings take a wee bit more weight in this position, hopefully. So keep that downward pressure through the soles of both feet. Now if you're able to stay still in this bridge, try lifting your elbows or forearms off the floor. Okay, you'll definitely notice the progression there now with in this position. If you're still comfortable, lift your upper arms off the floor as well. Still relaxed and heavy across the shoulder blades and upper back. Breathe. Bring the hands back to your sides, roll your spine back down again, and step your feet to either side of the ball. Okay? Almost done. Arms out wide. We're going to bring your left foot over to the right thigh, and this will allow your two legs to twist across to the right from here. Hang there in that position, opening up around the hips and lower back. Remember, if you enjoy some of these wee positions, you might stay longer. That tends to give people a lot of relief around the lower back. When you're ready, back into the middle, left foot back to the floor, right foot onto the left knee, and shift on over to the left. Keep your shoulder blades grounded to get the best feel from that one, that we're not twisting your upper back over as well. Relax. Again, last wee bit there. Hopefully the ball's still somewhere between your two feet. We're going to stretch the legs out, curl your toes back, heel from the head and neck and shoulders. There's no flinging forward if we can help it. Just roll up, and then we'll bring the hands on top of the ball to assist with the wee forward bend. This time roll out and relax here. Breathe. Stack up nice and tall. And then we're going to use the ball just for a wee stretch to open up the chest and the top of your abs. If you don't like this, if it's nipping at the neck or your back, you'll sit up carefully and take the ball away again. You hold on behind your thigh, you're going to bring the ball just below the shoulder blades. So not up between the shoulder blades, just slightly below that. And it's not at the lower back either. So just below the shoulder blades. Bring your weight slowly back onto the ball. Your back side will stay on the floor, your feet will stay on the floor as well. Fingertips behind the head. Allow the elbows to drop wide so we're really long and open across the chest. And we'll slowly arch the head and shoulders back over the ball. So the elbows are kind of relaxing out wide to the sides. Feel the length of the stretch coming up into the top of your tummy as well. And we'll just take a few nice deep breaths. If this isn't agreeing with you, if it feels really painful, just help yourself carefully off the ball and take it out of the way. If you're quite content here, just work with a couple of nice long deep breaths. Really feel the rib cage expand out over the top of the ball. Then we'll use the fingertips, tilt your head forward, roll back up, hands behind the thighs, help yourself up and take the ball out of the way. And then roll back down one vertebra at a time, the same manner we've worked with the whole session there, and relax back into the mat. And you can stay there as long as you want because we're done now.